The moment I saw the headline from the Mirror, I genuinely had to pause, blink twice, and make sure it wasn't satire. Because this has to be one of the most unintentionally revealing royal articles they've written in a long time. The Mirror published a dramatic, almost theatrical plea headlined, "I'm begging Prince Harry to come back to Britain. He knows it's too late in the US with Meghan." And that single sentence tells you everything you need to know about the new phase of tabloid storytelling. They are not reporting anymore. They are confessing that they miss Harry, confessing that the royal coverage feels empty without him, confessing that their biggest storyline left the country and never looked back. And now, instead of pretending to be neutral or authoritative, they are dropping the mask completely and resorting to emotional begging. That alone is already hilarious, but the deeper meaning underneath is even more entertaining. Think about the history here. For years, the British tabloids, and yes, the Mirror is front and centre in that group, spent an unbelievable amount of energy criticising, scrutinising and sensationalising every step Harry took. They did it when he was single, they did it when he dated, they did it when he got married, they did it when he became a father, and they turned the volume all the way up the moment he and Meghan Sussex announced they were done being the palace's press-punching bags. The press spent months saying they should leave. The press cheered when they left. The press insisted they would fail the second they landed in America. So imagine their surprise, their frustration, and now their desperation watching Harry and Meghan Sussex build a successful, independent, media-savvy life far outside their reach. This new article from the Mirror tries to disguise itself as concern, using a so-called friend of Princess Diana as the voice of reason, but the wording gives away the real truth. They miss the control, the access, the constant ability to write about Harry as if he were a character they owned. The article insists that Harry is struggling to make a success in the US and that it's too late for him over there. But the question that immediately comes to mind is too late for what? Too late for whom? Because the evidence we actually have paints a very different picture. Harry has built multiple successful projects, from documentaries to books to charitable initiatives. Meghan Sussex has launched global-level brand influence. Their partnership with various companies has produced high-impact, high-visibility content. Their candle, their lifestyle ventures, their numerous high-profile partnerships, none of that looks like failure. If anything, it looks like exactly what the tabloids didn't want. Success that exists completely outside their ecosystem. And that is precisely why this plea feels less like journalism and more like a love letter written at 2 a.m. by someone who realizes the relationship they destroyed isn't coming back. The Mirror's tone is emotional, dramatic, and almost theatrical as it tries to paint a picture of Harry longing for the UK, missing the monarchy, regretting his choices, and sitting in a corner thinking, maybe they were right. But that fantasy only exists in the minds of the tabloids, not in reality. Harry has given no public indication that he wants to return permanently. In fact, everything about his actions shows the opposite. He chose a quieter, more independent life. He chose privacy. He chose mental health. He chose autonomy. And he chose Meghan Sussex, not because he had to, but because he wanted to build a new life with her. The Mirror, however, frames this as a tragic mistake he should undo. They go as far as using the word begging, not recommending, not suggesting, not urging. Begging. That word reveals the truth more clearly than any part of the article. The tabloids are the ones who feel abandoned. They are the ones who lost the storyline. They are the ones who don't have daily access to his life anymore. And now they are scrambling, trying to rewrite history and shift public perception with emotional pleas dressed up as concern for Harry's well-being. What makes this even more ironic is that they also slip in hints that the UK somehow offers more stability or opportunity for him, as if the same media environment that spent years attacking Meghan Sussex with negative coverage is suddenly a safe place. How does that make sense? The same newspapers that pushed Harry to the brink, the same environment he described as toxic, the same system that made him feel trapped. Those are the ones suggesting he needs to come back for his own good. That is not concern. It is wishful thinking from an industry that underestimated his ability to survive without them. It is also telling that the article tries to place the blame on Meghan Sussex in a subtle but obvious way. The headline doesn't just say it's too late for Harry in the US. It adds, "with Meghan." That phrase is the heart of the tabloid obsession. They cannot accept that Harry is living a life he chose, not one he was forced into. They cannot accept that Meghan Sussex has been a partner, not a problem. And they cannot accept that the couple's successes, achievements, and brand power are things the UK press has no control over. So they try, again and again, to frame her as the reason for his supposed downfall, even when the reality contradicts that completely. Meghan Sussex is part of the success story, not a barrier to it. Yet the Mirror's article pretends that the problem is the United States itself. They frame Hollywood, media, business deals, and brand building as some kind of Bermuda Triangle, where Harry supposedly wandered in and became lost. But the only people who feel lost are the tabloids trying to figure out how to maintain relevance in a royal landscape without the most dynamic couple they had. Their coverage of the remaining royals hasn't had the same global traction. The drama isn't the same, the engagement isn't the same, and the clicks certainly aren't the same. That's why they are suddenly nostalgic, suddenly emotional, suddenly pleading for Harry to come home. In reality, the article is less about Harry's future and more about the tabloid industry's fears about its own future. They relied on Harry and Meghan Sussex to fuel a constant cycle of drama, outrage, and sensationalism. Their departure disrupted a formula that had been profitable for years. And now that the initial shock has worn off, the press has realized that new headlines aren't hitting the same way. The audience isn't reacting the same way. The energy isn't the same. So instead of acknowledging that Harry made a healthy choice for himself and his family, the tabloids have decided to rewrite the narrative by imagining a version of events where he regrets everything and is secretly longing to return. But here's the most revealing part. If Harry and Meghan Sussex were truly irrelevant or unsuccessful in the US, the media wouldn't care. They wouldn't be begging. They wouldn't be pleading. They wouldn't be using emotional language. They wouldn't be publishing long articles about how he needs to come back. The fact that the Mirror released a headline this dramatic shows that the Sussexes remain one of the biggest topics in global media. The tabloids can't quit them. They tried. They failed. And now they are crawling back metaphorically, trying to convince the world that Harry's supposed struggles are proof he belongs in the UK again. What's even more amusing is the assumption that Harry would return to an environment that has not changed at all. The same tabloids still exist. The same scrutiny would greet him the moment he landed. The same narratives would emerge. The same pressures would return. So why would he go back to a life he consciously left behind? The article fails to answer that question because the answer doesn't support their storyline. At its core, the Mirror's article is emotional manipulation disguised as commentary. It tries to paint a picture where Harry is missing something in his life that only the UK can offer, while carefully ignoring the fact that the UK lost something when Harry left: star power, relatability, modernity, and a global dimension that no other royal currently carries. Harry didn't lose relevance. The tabloids lost access. And that is what this headline truly represents: a plea from an industry that wants its biggest story back. The truth is simple. Harry is building the life he wanted. Meghan Sussex is thriving. Their family is stable. Their projects are global. Their influence remains strong. And the tabloids, including the Mirror, are slowly realizing that their predictions about the couple's downfall never came true. So instead of accepting it, they are framing it as a failure that Harry must run away from. But the only people running are the tabloids, running out of narratives, running out of drama, and running out of ways to pretend they don't miss the couple whose stories once fueled their entire news cycle. This is why this headline is so unintentionally funny. It's not Harry who is begging. It's the Mirror. It's the tabloids. It's the industry that pushed him away and now wants him back because they finally admitted, quietly and desperately, that they miss him far more than they ever expected.